Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing stuff with our Snoopy truck, which apparently seems to be everyone's favorites, because all the pictures and videos that get posted of it, those are the ones that get all the likes, the views, the questions, the comments. So everyone should like this. We're doing more stuff with Snoopy. Today we're going to be leveling it, because like all factory trucks, it's kind of, nose diving a little bit. But we want to pick the front end up, because I think it'll look better, and later on, when we maybe do wheels and tires, we'll be able to fit a bigger wheel and tire with less cutting if we level it. We'll go ahead and measure how bad the rake is on it. Most trucks are going to be like 2 inches, which we got about, tape measure is kind of weird, we got about 35 inches there in the front from the ground to the fender. And a little under 37 inches in the back here. Now this measurement, it could be a little bit off by tire pressure or whatever, or the truck not sitting perfectly level, but it's basically about 2 inches off. So we're just gonna level it up a little bit and just see how tall we can get it with the factory keys. I didn't buy those aftermarket torsion keys because I did not want to really stress the front end by pushing it really far down. I just want the truck to kind of sit level, so I don't need anything huge. If you put those aftermarket torsion keys in it, I think you can go beyond like a 2-inch level and even get it kind of leaning back a little bit. But that's not really what we want. We just want nice and level, and I don't want to really max out the angles on all the front end parts and just destroy the front end of the truck, because right now everything in the front end's good. So we're just going to see how tall we can get on factory keys. Okay guys, here's a look at the Snoopy truck with the rake on it. Not leveled yet. Doesn't look too bad though, but it's still kind of noticeable. See the fender gap there and the fender gap there. But we're going to go ahead and before we crank on those keys, we're going to go ahead and throw it up on some jack stands. I've seen people crank it with just an impact on the ground, but you really don't want to do that. That's a good way to break a torsion bar bolt, because you're trying to, make the truck, the control arms, push down with all that weight on it. So it's really good just to pick the whole truck up, set it on jack stands, and then much easier to go about cranking the keys. So we'll go ahead and get the truck up in there and then get back to y'all. Okay guys, just to show you what's going on before we actually start, is this is the bolt for the torsion key. As you can see, it's really hard to see under here. Okay, that's a little bit better. This key, as you tighten this bolt, it will... Essentially what it's going to do is, the key's like this, and as you tighten the bolt on this end, it's going to push it up. And as it pushes up on this end, it's going to twist this way. And as it twists that way, it's going to force the control arm down, giving you the lift. We're just going to run this up just a little bit, and I'll show you how we're going to do that and how to keep track of how high you're cranking it. But some people will literally put an impact on these and just run them up all the way. That's what you do when you don't care about ball joints or wheel hubs and you want to run 14 wides on a mud tire with no lift. But we're not going to do that. We just want a nice little leveling. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay guys, so now that we've shown you where the torsion key is and explain what's going on, the best way to keep track of it is to put your ratchet and line up the handle of the ratchet and your cheater pipe or whatever you got on it with this cross member and do half turns. So we'd go, okay, line it up with this side of the cross member. And that would be 1 turn there. Then that'd be 2 half turns. So I think we're gonna do 10 half turns. Take the jack stands out from under the truck and see how much height that gave us, and get back to y'all when we do that. Okay, we took the jack stands out from under the truck. Now we're gonna see, we did 10 half cranks, so 5 regular cranks. So we're gonna see how tall that got us. We were at 37 earlier. We're even using the same tape measure because this is a scientific, consistent experiment. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Look, we were at 35. Now we're at like 36 and a quarter. So I'm pretty happy with that. In the back, we were like, it's not going to change the back, but you can see we're at like 36 and like 3/4. So now we're just a ½ inch difference. Quick math. Now that we leveled Snoopy, there's like some important stuff we need to tell you. We could go a little bit higher. Well, we could go, according to the keys, like there's a lot of bolt room left on the key. We could go a lot higher. Probably could get another inch out of it. But we're literally like ½ inch difference from the front to rear, which you're not even going to see that over this long of a distance. So it's pretty much leveled. But the reason we don't want to go higher is because down here, all your suspension angles, you can put the camera down this way. You see, we're still pretty good. I mean, we're at a slight angle. I mean, that's going to be angled all the time because it's your steering stuff. But our CV axle right there and our control arms and stuff, they're at a little bit of an angle, but nothing really bad. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we got about a 1/4 inch up in here. In the back, we got like a 1/4 inch between our bump stop and our control arm about there. So if we were to go higher, this would get a lot closer. So when you, well, I guess the more you crank your keys, the smaller this gap is, which means like the smaller distance it has to travel to hit that. Which is not good because you'll be driving along, you'll hit a bump, and it just sounds like garbage because you have the bump stop hitting the control arm, and it's just like boom, a real hard bump. So I'm okay with that gap. I think you'll be fine. But yeah, that's just one of the things that comes with cranking your keys. You're going to put a little bit more stress on your front end stuff, like your CB axle and ball joints, and you're probably going to lose a little bit of ride quality. But I don't think it'll be too bad, especially since with how heavy duty these like front end 3/4 ton parts are. And you know, I don't drive the truck every day, so I'm okay with it riding on a little bit twisted angles. But we didn't go crazy, but we got it leveled, so it looks a lot better now. If you want to step back and just kind of look at the truck. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but you can see now it's not really nosediving like it was before. So it looks a lot better in my opinion. And since we went ahead and leveled it, when you do level your truck, they say you should go ahead and put some aftermarket shocks on it. So like if you hit a bump in the truck, you don't accidentally overextend your factory shocks, because you know you have a larger distance now between your lower control arm and the top of the factory shock mount. So we're going to be putting some new shocks in it. The front shocks are made for a leveled truck, so it should work good. And the most important thing you do, that you absolutely have to do if you crank your keys, get in alignment. Because when you take it, all your control arms and stuff, and you push them down when you level it, it's going to do weird things to your wheels. Because, you know, it was aligned for how the factory control arms were. So go get in alignment. I know it's like $75 or $100 or wherever you live, but you'll tear up your tires if you don't. So as soon as you crank the keys, don't drive the truck unless you absolutely have to, until you get that alignment. So we're going to go ahead and throw some new shocks on it and I guess see how bad it rides. Hopefully it won't be too bad. But anytime you crank your keys, level your truck, stuff like that, you are putting more wear and tear on it. But I'm not too worried because we didn't go crazy. So glad y'all got to see it.